I don't know why, but having a bit of a tough day. And a tough day doesn't always mean that I'm in a lot of pain or my skin is acting up, or sometimes just a tough day is an emotionally tough day. You have your down days, and don't exactly know why. Been contemplating things again. Probably too much in my head, too much again as usual. Contemplating things like, how much control do we really have in life? Do we really create our own reality? And if so, how much? How much of a connection there is between the mind and the body. All these extremely philosophical questions, once again bouncing around in my head, and once again no answers. Too many questions, not enough answers. Yeah, I drive myself insane with this stuff sometimes. I guess because I'm really fascinated about how the brain works, and how the brain and brain chemistry and hormones and things like that affects our moods and how we think about things. That subject has fascinated me for a long time. Again, far more questions than answers, and that frustrates me, but I'm still interested in this stuff. Spoke to a friend of mine last night, and he was telling me something which I had read a little while back somewhere on the internet somewhere, about how they can stimulate certain parts of the brain, and one particular part of the brain, when stimulated, will create experiences of near death, and this doctor can actually do this at will. And I'm not sure if it's the same part of the brain, but an area stimulated will have an experience, or induce an experience in these people where they will see angels and beautiful experiences with light, lots of light, and it's a very comforting, warm experience. And then another part of the brain stimulated will give you the experience of fire, hell, all that old concept. And I just think, is this all in the brain? All these, what and where did this come from? Is it just an experience in our brains? It's that same old question. Did God create the brain, or did the brain create God? And that entire understanding, I don't know, but you can see my frustration. I don't bugger around with asking the small questions. I want the big answers. So I think the fact that I'm not getting the answers, I find that frustrating, and it can sometimes put me in a mood. It's not a bad mood, but it's a mood. It's a frustrated mood. Because I sit here in between place of what do I believe. Proof is important to me. Scientific proof is even more important to me. And I want to know. I know the experiences that I've had, and I kind of sit on the fence a bit between some spiritual understandings and science and what that can prove. But then again, maybe they just haven't proved it yet. I don't know. But I get frustrated because I don't know quite where to position myself. And then at the end of the day, does it really matter? does it really matter? I mean, I've had many people say to me over the years that, illness is an illusion, and I've got actually quite pissed off with them a lot of the time, because it's a case of, well, try this illusion on for size and then speak to me. It's a pretty damn real illusion. Yeah. So, but then again, there's no doubt that there is a genetic condition here. I see the physical results of that. I see the physical expression of that. But I do question whether we have some control over our bodies by the way that we think, by the way that we feel. Because I really feel like I've proved that to myself on a number of occasions. I can control the pain by the way that I think and feel. I mean, sometimes it's just forget about it. It's not going to happen. But there are times where I have achieved it, where my feet have been really, really sore, and it's been dragging on for a while, and you're worn down. The pain wears you down. It wears you down on every level. And I've had moments where I've had a spontaneous shift in that pain, just by doing mental focus. And the fact that I have improved over the years physically, that there has been some improvement. I mean, some parts have got worse, my legs have got worse, but other areas, especially like my face, has improved so dramatically. I wonder about whether I created that, whether I actually managed to do that. Because as long as I can remember, I never ever took the diagnosis seriously. The diagnosis of no cure. I never took it seriously, and I never believed it, no matter how many doctors told me so. As a child, I just refused to believe it. It was a case of no, nothing is ever incurable. You just haven't found the answer yet. Now, I mean, medically, yes, they are making strides to find a cure for this condition. But whether this is going to benefit me or not in my lifetime, I have no idea. So that's a complete unknown for me. And because it's an unknown, I don't even entertain the idea. However, the mind-body connection has always been there. And I am curious and remain curious about whether we can affect a change. And I've gone into many things about this subject, and got involved with quite a few sort of spiritual groups to see if I could find answers. And yeah, there are many kind of spiritual groups who maintain, and I'm not talking about religious, I'm talking about spiritual. Spiritual groups who maintain that you can affect changes in your physicality by the way that you think, and the focus. But I mean, essentially, I've been able to visualize myself completely healed. I'm talking probably from about the age of 5 or 6. And as you may have seen before from the photos that I've showed you of what my face used to look like, to try and visualize yourself with a completely healed face in particular, when you pretty much looked like a monster, I think that was pretty cool. I think that was actually quite amazing. And I could see myself completely healed. And I think that's what got me through. Now, my question is, again, if I've been able to visualize, and still to this day while I'm talking here, I can visualize what each and every part of my body would look like if I never had the skin condition. But if visualizing was enough and could really affect change, the amount of visualizing that I've done over my life, I would think by now it shouldn't exist, and it does.